Well, hello there, friends. I'm Sarah, and I am excited to share with you today some tips for not only surviving, but thriving around your family during the holiday season. So, in order to help me get in the spirit, I'm gonna wear these little reindeer antlers here. Let's have a little fun with it. Okay, so as a licensed professional counselor, this topic comes up a lot around the holidays. How do I navigate the discomfort that comes up when I'm around my family? It's common for us to experience a sense of dread or fear when going to family get-togethers, as usually it's being around our family where we get the most triggered. Triggering is the term I use to talk about when an event brings up our own unresolved issues and it makes us reactive. And when we're reactive, this is when we're not our best selves. So in some ways, being around family can actually bring out our worst selves. It can bring out anger and fear or feeling helpless and frustrated. It can bring out our defensiveness. And so often these reactions are a natural way that we try to protect ourselves from an impending threat, like we would if we were in danger in our environment. Because getting around family can actually bring up old thoughts and feelings of whatever you've felt before, whether it's not feeling good enough or feeling overly responsible for others or not being loved well or accepted. So the threat that we feel isn't necessarily a physical threat or danger, though this may be the case for some people, but more of a psychological threat because it brings up uncomfortable emotions and thoughts. Everyone's different. If this isn't the case for you, where you feel that discomfort when you get around families, that's awesome. But I know that this is often the case for me, where my worst self comes up around my family. And I know this is the case for a lot of my clients and a lot of just people. This is the human condition. So I want you to know that if you're there, if you're struggling with that, you're normal and you're not alone. So the tips that I'm about to provide for you, I've got 5 tips for you. They're not a substitute for working through these deeper unresolved issues with a professional, if you so choose, but can provide some supportive structure for moving forward in a mindful way throughout the coming month. So we're going to talk about these 5 tips. So I wrote out my tips on this piece of paper because I don't know how to edit videos and ain't nobody got time to edit. So this is a little crazy, but number 1, I want you to observe your habits. Look back on your previous behavior while you've been around your family, because this can provide a lot of information about your way of surviving around your family. Without any judgment, just observe. Allow yourself to become aware of how you've responded. What comes up for you when you get around family, and how do you behave in response to that? Do you get aggressive or angry? Do you get defensive? This is more of a fight stance where we move forward. We almost want to attack before someone hurts us. Or do you get distant, or you check out? Don't engage in much conversation with people. Maybe you drink a lot to keep yourself away from the discomfort and the stress that might cause. Often, we avoid our discomfort by getting overly involved in fixing someone else. This is something that's really common. We can focus on other people's issues and their problems instead of, and their own mistakes and failings, instead of looking at our own discomfort. Totally makes sense. So no blame or shame, just observe what you do without feeling like a sense of shame. I'm convinced after 9 years of counseling that everything we do has a function to it. We're all doing the best that we can, even if it doesn't look like it. There's a function to all of our behavior. We get something out of what we're doing, even if it looks very dysfunctional, even if it's not helpful. So we just have to understand, how is that behavior helping us? Number 2. And this is a lifelong work, y'all, so I'm not pretending like this is easy, but accept things as they are. There are things about our lives that we'd like to change, but we don't have the power to change them. Our family members are often not who we want them to be. And often we ourselves are not who we want to be, if we're being honest. So find a space for allowing yourself to have the uncomfortable feelings that come up around your family. You don't have to make those go away. Don't have to make those go away in order to interact with them the way that you want to. So accept that discomfort. You don't have to react to it or get away from it. Accept your family, as crazy and dysfunctional as it may be. And work with the idea that you can accept that you and your family are not perfect or even close to perfect, but will work with the piece of the puzzle that you do have control over. And that is yourself. The only thing you have control over is what lies in your own body. And that brings us to point number 3. Ask yourself, who do I want to be? This is maybe one of the most important questions I use in my office, and I ask myself on a daily basis. Who do I want to be? If we can only have control over our choices, then we have to get really honest about what we value and what kind of people we want to be. And this is the beauty of it, though. We can't change other people, but when we change our actions over time, this changes our interactions that we have with our family. When you own your power to change and shift by owning your actions, this helps change the system and the way that you relate to your family. So this principle, this tip is about moving away from your habits, your patterns of what you do kind of reactively when you get around your family, into new patterns. Who do you want to be? When you ask that question, that will guide your actions. Clarifying your values and asking that question, who do I want to be, is going to help move you in the direction that you want to go. Number 4, visualize. After you've gotten clarity on who you want to be, work on visualizing it. Literally run the scenario of being around the dinner table with your family, envisioning yourself holding true to who you want to be, acting the way that you want to act. Visualize what you want to look like. Visualize how you're feeling inside. Maybe you're confident and calm. Visualize your mom and dad's or step-parents' facial expression that usually drives you bonkers and triggers you like crazy. Visualize them having that facial expression, and then visualize how you respond to it. Recognizing that no matter what someone else does, it does not have to drive your behavior. Maybe you need to visualize yourself as being calm in the face of anxiety, as being calm in the face of fighting happening around you. Maybe you need to visualize yourself speaking your truth or being yourself in a respectful way among people who don't approve of you, or among people who you've never felt good enough with. Whoever it is that you desire to be, run that scenario in your mind over and over and over. Feel it in your bones. Move it through your mind. Number 5, super important. Y'all, be kind to yourself. We are always in between who we are and who we want to be. It's a lifelong journey to becoming the kinds of people that we want to be, and it requires a ton of patience and compassion for ourselves. You're gonna mess up. You'll get reactive, you'll get mad, you'll stumble, and you're not going to do this whole thing perfectly. So give yourself the space for that, and learn to bathe in kindness towards yourself, because it's receiving that kindness into yourself that gives us the energy to get up and try again and to keep going. And little by little, we grow. And then years from now, we look back and we say, wow, look at how far I've come. And I only made it this far by taking it one step at a time. So that's it for now. Hope you guys got something out of our time together today. May your holidays be full of learning and love and growth. Grace and peace, my friends.